Hi, my name is Bethany Cagnol and I'm the president of TESOL France. And here next to me is Hugh Dellar. Hugh's been a speaker at our conferences, well, this year of course and last year, and his talks always go down very, very well with our audiences. So first, well, let's talk about outcomes,
okay,
because this is a brand new thing that's come out.
It is.
And why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
It's a 5-level general English coursebook series. It's published by Heinle Cengage, and it's the second sort of 5-level series I've done. I did a series called Innovations before, and Outcomes is hopefully a bit more of a kind of mainstream version of what we've tried to do with Innovations. We've tried to basically bring some of the ideas we had with Innovations about Lexis and looking at language from a lexical point of view, and balance that out with a more traditional grammar syllabus. We've tried to make sure both the Lexis and the grammar are subordinate to communicative goals or achieving communicative outcomes, hence the title. It's very much focused on the Common European Framework, trying to really implement the ideas of can-do statements and teach particular kinds of competencies. And there's a lovely quote at the beginning of the CEF, which we really thought a lot about when we were writing it, which is the main goal of language teaching is threefold, according to them, which is to teach students how to deal with the business of everyday life, to help students to express their thoughts, feelings, ideas and opinions, and to broaden their understanding of culture. And what we've really tried to do is to sort of balance this out across the series and across each individual book and across each unit, where there's a focus on culture, there's a focus on conversations and particular kinds of getting things done. There's a focus on expressing your thoughts, feelings, opinions about all kinds of different things. And there's quite a strong focus on being able to get stuff done and deal with the business of everyday life. We've also tried quite keenly to focus on the kind of core 3,000 words, particularly at sort of intermediate and below, and spent a lot of time quite obsessively looking at the frequency word lists and trying to cover as much of that language as possible. I could go on.
Yeah, actually, speaking of that, actually I thought of something, because we have a few upcoming authors here in France, and France is, we're starting to blossom, I think, in terms of authorship.
Yeah.
Can you maybe give us a few words about being an author? What is it like? Hard work. It's very, yeah.
It's hard work. That old kind of joke about 10% inspiration and 90% perspiration is very true, I think. The hardest part is the day-to-day slog of getting it done, I think. Helps if you have a good idea, helps if you have a principle behind what you're trying to do, helps if you have a kind of clear vision of where you're trying to take it. But once you've got all of that, you then still have to sit and put the hours in. And it involves a lot of work, and it involves a lot of editing and rewriting and redrafting and dealing with comments that you get back from your editors and from your pilot people. And it involves a lot of late nights and weekends and holidays and all of that. So great if people are trying to do it, but don't underestimate the slog that it will involve.
I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree. But yeah, I think it's very important if people are thinking about going into authoring, then they need to consider the amount of work that is needed.
Yeah, and I think particularly in kind of ELT publishing, where the deadlines are all important, because if you're 1 month out with your deadlines, the whole publishing project goes awry, and publishers get really irate, and it makes life much more difficult for everybody. So being able to write well to deadlines is a kind of demanding requirement, I think.
You mentioned that Outcomes has a very good lexical
we like to think
basis.
So.
And so but you also do a lot of work on the lexical approach.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was very influenced by the lexical approach as a sort of younger teacher, and I think it's a really interesting book, because I think that there's lots and lots of methodology books and books about teaching and about working with teachers, and I think very, very few have had that kind of career-changing or life-changing impact upon people. And for me, when I read the lexical approach and some of the subsequent things that have come out of that, like the Hoey book, Lexical Priming, that kind of thing, it really resonated with me, and it rang a lot of bells with me, and I think it must be how language works, and I think thus far it's not fully been comprehended or dealt with or taken seriously enough within course books. I think what's happened is course books have started to include more vocabulary, they've started to kind of say full lexical syllabus. But generally the way they're still driven is very much kind of atomistic, grammar block by block kind of building template, the sort of headway design. And you know, if that's how you believe language works, that's fine. It's just not how I believe language works. And we've tried to do something a little bit different with that.
Thanks, Hugh.
Thank
This
you.
has been great.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for
for
having
your time.
Yeah.
And this has been fantastic listening to what you have to say about lexical approach,
Thank
but
you.
also
You're very
authoring
kind.
as well. So thanks very much. And well, stay tuned to Hugh's talk. It's a really good one.
Thank you. Goodbye.